Hello there. If you're watching this, it's on the internet. If you're watching this and it's not on the internet, I'm worried a little bit now. We're going to begin tonight's program with something that's actually, it's actually really serious, and so, in other words, it's not funny. So if you at home are laughing at this, you're gonna feel like shit in a second, okay? Because I'm talking about fire safety. Yeah, you feel like an asshole, don't ya? Don't ya? I'll tell you a funny story that happened. And by funny, I mean it was troubling and worrying, to say the least. So I'm driving down Main Street, and obviously, first off, can't tell a story about fire without possibly causing one myself. Well, one to the house. This is going to be a small fire, but, could just, flick this and start a whole fire if I wanted to. If I wanted to, I could. Anyway, I'm driving down Main Street, and I see the corner of a fire station, and I just out of memory remember there being a fire station there. I'm thinking fire station is going to be on the left, but I also in that moment see something that troubled me greatly, and that was a giant big black cloud of smoke. And I thought, uh-oh, bad place for a fire! Or maybe it doesn't even matter, because the firemen are already there. Yeah, you didn't think of that. It wasn't a fire, though, luckily. It was one of those dumbass, lame, barbecue, Chivetta's chicken, stupid, lame things. It's like one of those events that when you're 10 years old, your parents drag you to for no goddamn reason whatsoever. Like, they could have gotten a sitter. They're just being too cheap and lazy to find anyone, okay? They're just dragging you there, and they're just talking to all their jackass friends. And these are people that they maybe saw 3 times ever at college, and then they start talking, and it's like, oh, wait! We didn't go to college together, did we? You know what I mean? And you're a kid, and you're just standing there bored, and it's like your legs and your shins are, itching out of boredom. It's one of those stupid events. And so I'm driving by, and this is the layout of the barbecue. In the back, obviously, you got the fire station. In front of the fire station, you got all the fire trucks lined up all cool and badass-like. In front of the fire trucks, you had all those, the fire rescue SUVs, like the red ones, kind of like, perpendicular to them, you know what I mean? Like the trucks are this way, the SUVs are this way. In front of the SUVs, you got the barbecue pit. And in front of the barbecue pit, you got the people, and in front of the people, you got the street. And all I could think was, what if there was a goddamn fire? Oh no, this was a terrible idea. Alright, everyone get the fuck out of here. Wait, is there anyone else? There isn't another fire station for 50 miles. It's 2 blocks down and it's an inferno. Oh shit, alright, god damn it. Why don't we just do this at a banquet hall or something else? This was really stupid, oh my lord. I for one, would not want to give money to a fire company that, shows such poor judgment. I don't know about you. Anyway, body shaming aside, whatever your opinion is about everything else about Billie Eilish, you're correct. I'll tell you a funny story. If you're a friend of mine watching this, you all know I am very lucky to be married to the most beautiful, wonderful woman in the world. We've been together for 8 years. In 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. It's going to be our 3rd wedding anniversary. So it's freaking awesome. It's great. And I remember leading up to the wedding, there was some sagely advice that I was given. I was working this one job, and I got this advice from 3 different men, all of whom were in either their late 40s, early 50s. One of them was married, one of them was divorced, the other dude was a closeted homosexual that was always single. And so why he gave me this advice too, I never really understood. But they all said the exact same thing at 3 different times. They said, you know, eventually, you two are going to eventually fucking hate each other. What? The fuck is that bullshit? And this is like less than 2 weeks before the goddamn wedding. And here's the thing, it's like, my wife used to work there, so they all know her. They know both of us. Like, we've got people that work there that work at the wedding. Thankfully, it was none of those people. And so it's just, what the fuck is that bullshit? You're saying that, like, you know, like, yeah, 2 weeks up to the wedding? Listen, something else. So, you know, at the time, we had been together 5 years. We had lived together for all those 5 years. We met online. And I'm saying to them, guys, we love each other. We've been together for 5 years. We know we know every intimate detail that the other person has. Every last thing. Their strengths, their weaknesses, their aspirations, their fears. Every intense, great, traumatic, good, bad moment in their life. Just everything. And you, honest to your God, think we don't already fucking hate each other? Are you out of your goddamn mind, man? Come on! Like, what, the average marriage lasts, like, what, a week these days? And, you know, people have known each other for, like, less than that or something? Come on! Of course we fucking hate each other. That's why you get married. You cement that shit. You put it on the books, okay? And that is how you know you found the right person, because you fucking hate each other and you love to snuggle every night. And, yeah, it's working out great. We're still madly in love, and find wonderful ways to express how we hate each other at the worst moments. But I think that's called being together for 8 years. That's how you keep it afloat. It's called drama. You can't just be stagnant. It's like the end of The Good Place. You can't just go to heaven. You gotta have some drama in there to kick things up. Except, no, that's a terrible thing. That's bad advice. Don't go into a marriage thinking to yourself, alright, things have been going great. Time to piss her the fuck off. Hey, honey. I thought, I didn't think you had any dresses that size. I mean... No, my wife, but I've got, one regret, I have to admit. One single regret. I married a white woman. Okay? And I would dare say that she's even paler than me. Like, I at least get some sunlight. I mean, our children are going to be translucent, for God's sakes. Like, you know, you can at least sell tickets, you know. Hey, come look at our fucking freak son. You can see his heartbeat. It's freaky as shit, blah, blah, blah. You can see the shit travel down his intestines before he has to go to the bathroom. It's amazing. But, but my wife is, she's Jewish on her father's side, and she's Armenian on her mother's side. So, it's for, for a white person, it's close enough, you know what I mean? Like, and to be perfectly honest, I didn't know Armenian people were white until I met her. Did you know? I didn't even think she knew until, her mom told her. And even then, I bet she had her suspicions. I remember, there was a period of time where my wife, she was starting to really get back into her Armenian roots. She, had never really, she didn't really know enough about it, and she was, it was cool, she's Googling stuff about the culture, the history, cuisine, just every last cool thing about it. She's really getting immersed in it. And one day, we're watching one of our favorite shows by one of our favorite people, Kitchen Nightmares. This is one of those Gordon Ramsay shows where he goes to restaurants and he's like, hey, stop serving people food poisoning stuff and stop serving people food stuff at the restaurant. Yeah, and that's his exact demeanor too. Hey, don't do that. I'm Gordon Ramsay. This is my real voice and accent. We're watching our show, and it's about a restaurant owned by an Armenian woman and her daughters. Her daughters are half black, and that shouldn't have to be pertinent information to the story, but unfortunately it is for the worst reasons. So, she's talking about how her family, the rest of her Armenian family disowned her because she decided to, I guess, tamper with their perfect gene pool that they had. At least, that's probably how they said it to her, at least, in the nicest way possible. And so she's talking about it, and it's fucking disgusting, and it's just like, puts a bad taste in your mouth. And then she says the following about her Armenian family disowning her for having black children. She says the following about being disowned for having black children. Well, everybody knows the first thing about Armenian culture is, and we don't remember anything else she said after that because I just turned to my wife with both of our jaws just on the floor. The first thing about Armenian culture, huh? I'm glad you didn't find that in the Google search results, It's like, number one, no race mixing. Ooh, don't click that. Number two, ooh, they got this fancy cheese. Yeah. Ooh, rough. Anyway, we have no problem with race mixing, even though we will have our translucent children. PSA. Let's move the topic to something to someone that, well, those of you that know me, hold on. Quit drinking, but smoking helps not wanting to drink. Anyway, I talk about someone that you all know is near and dear to my heart. Those of you that know me know that I'm constantly this guy is he's always right here. He's always right here. And I'm talking, of course, about Elon Musk. I remember in the weeks leading up to him hosting Saturday Night Live, my heart sinking and just being like, because Saturday Night Live is a temple for me, and he is Satan. So, I go to bed thinking, oh God, I hope I don't kill myself the next morning, and I wake up, and before I see the episode, I go on Pitchfork, and I see, hey, look at Grimes dressed as Princess Peach, in a sketch where Elon Musk plays Wario on trial for killing Mario, and I saw the picture of Elon, and I'm just like, I'm going to watch the episode now, okay? And I did. And it was awful. But it was wonderful what happened. He went on live television and said, after coining himself the Doge Father and saying cryptocurrency is the future, just like, that freaking stupid artificial intelligence shit the new Grimes album was about, the whole thing is a hustle, aka complete bullshit, because it's fake money that you just download and make. You can't, literally, you just plug in your Wi-Fi and money comes. Yay! That's a perfect business model. He admits it's bullshit. The next day, down goes cryptocurrency. Yay! Na, 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 na. Yes! And I laughed and laughed. Oh, he's not a bright man, not at all. He's the dumbest goddamn James Bond villain imaginable. Okay, he looks like every James Bond villain. He owns a company that every single James Bond villain owns, like SpaceX. Duh. Except he's stupid. What's the point of going to Mars, Elon? You are gonna spend billions of dollars to go inhabit an inhabitable planet with not enough oxygen, instead of spending all that money on making the already habitable planet that could become more inhabitable for the future. You know what I mean? We already got oxygen. Ha-ho! That's, Bitcoin, that's bad for the environment. But you know what doesn't matter? Spending billions on rocket ships that blow up on landing or even on ignition. How many rockets has he blown up, and how much did that shit cost? Yeah, but no, it's the Bitcoin servers. That's what's killing the environment. I've got a quote here that my brain thankfully preserves me enough to not remember the whole thing verbatim. So I gotta read this to you because I can't paraphrase this. This is him during a TED Talk, explaining his thinking process. So what you're supposed to do... what you're supposed to do is boil things down to their fundamental truths. And then reason up from there, as opposed to reasoning by analogy. Analogy. I thought I wrote analogy, and that he made up that word and it was wrong, but then it's like, no, he said analogy. He's not that. No, he is. I'll say it again. Boil things down to their fundamental truths, and then reason from there, as opposed to reasoning by analogy. Okay, enough of that. But let's boil down what that means exactly. So, boil things down to their fundamental truths. Think about whatever the thing is. The situation, whatever the fuck. What are you thinking about? No, you don't even think about that. The thing or the whatever is, and you acknowledge it's there. Hi! Because, you know, that's a fundamental truth. It's there! And you see it. Alright. So now, you have to reason from there, as opposed to reason up from there, as opposed to reasoning by analogy. So you have to reason what's there, as opposed to reasoning by analogy, aka something that's not there. So, now comes the thinking part. Okay, reason from the fundamental truths. Hey, now I can think about the fact that there's a thing right there, and that's what it is. Okay, as opposed to analogy. So, we're going to think about what the thing is, and what the thing isn't, and then we'll know what it is. Genius, isn't he? Going a little longer than I meant to, but I have to get this last bit in. I'm trying to make time this to 15 minutes in case I decide to go unleash my beautiful rhetoric on the world. But I have to leave with a passing thought that drives me insane and keeps me up at night. How fucking pissed were the rest of the Beatles when Paul broached them with the idea for Hey Jude? This is kind of how I imagined it happened. He's like, alright lads, gather round, time for another Southern Rotten powwow. Yeah, whatever the fuck they said. Yeah, now do some acid, whatever they need, come on. And he goes and he's like, alright, I've got an idea, this is going to be our biggest song ever. Yes, we're the Beatles. We've already released a lot of good songs. So John, this is a song that's 8 minutes long, and it's about how your son hates you and Yoko.
I'm not so sure about this, Paul McCartney.
Just call me Paul.
I don't think that's a very good idea, Paul McCartney. We usually do 2-minute love songs, or we take acid and do songs about acid and walruses.
Right, but we're not going to do this. It's going to be 8 minutes long, and it's going to be played all over the radio, all over the singles charts, and yes, this is the 1960s still.
I'm not so sure I like this, Paul McCartney. What's the song going to be called?
Hi Jude.
My song's name is Julian.
I don't care.
And you got George in the background like... and Ringo's just like, I'm just gonna play me drums, you know? And so, he's like, no, it's the first 4 minutes. The second 4 minutes is going to be nothing but this. And this is maybe where George and Ringo get a little pissed.
You three lads are going to do nothing but sing, no, 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 Hey Jude, again, not John's son's name, and then I'm going to just the whole time in between go on the piano going, Jude, 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 wow! And they're playing at every dance ever, and it's going to be our biggest, most recognizable song.
Alright.